Hello, I'm Brendan and I am the creator of the SSB4 Dojo on Tumblr. So yesterday I discussed about the release date as well as characters, and today I'm going to discuss about stages and what we can expect both on the 3DS and the Wii U, as well as taking a look at possibilities for other stages. So I'm going to start with the 3DS stages, and the first stage is Super Mario 3D Land. This stage we have known since the beginning. It wasn't originally shown in the original trailer, but we did get pics of it the first day. I mean, slowly but surely we got a better idea of it. This stage, it's really cool. It's sort of a combination of the Mushrooming Kingdom in Brawl, where you're having the side-scrolling left to right, but unlike that, you'll also have sections where the camera will stay stationary and you're not always moving, and the camera will pan, but you're moving with it rather than having to constantly be moving yourself. So it actually really is a unique idea and a unique take on what was Mushrooming Kingdom in Brawl. I'm really excited for this stage because you have the second part, which is going to have the platforms changing angles based on how the walls interact with the platforms, as well as big spikes that will come out of the water in the final section that will destroy the platforms. Hopefully that's random, it's not the same platforms breaking every time, but so we'll have to wait and see to get more info on that. The next stage is Arena Ferox from Fire Emblem Awakening, and it seems to be the new Pokemon Stadium for the 3DS version. Now, I don't know if that means Pokemon Stadium is not going to be back, but it does have that feel because, again, you're in a stadium-like setting, as well as there are 4 variations that we've seen so far of the stage. And it's interesting to see it in action because these 4 sections, they're all unique. One, I believe, has electricity. So it does play off that sort of Pokemon Stadium vibe, giving you different ways you have to fight based on different layouts for the platforms. The next stage was brand new and announced during the Direct, and it is the Balloon Fight stage. And this stage has a really, really cool feature in that the right and left side are not kill zones. Now, Mario Bros. Was a game in the in Brawl, or was a stage in Brawl. And in the normal Mario Bros. Games, you can go from the right side to the left side, but in this game, it was locked. When you go off the edge as normal, that's how you're going to die. So the only 2 ways that it seems you can die are through the water in the middle of the stage at the bottom, as well as going up through the top. And I really am interested to see how much the edge will play a role. I mean, Samus's charge shot, you attack, it's going to go through the other side and come and hit them. I really don't know exactly how it's going to work, but it's a great idea. The Find Me stage is our next one. It does have the Dark Lord as well as a Mii being held captive. Now the Dark Lord, we don't know exactly, we don't know enough about him, his attacks or whatnot, but he does seem to be a boss of the stage similar to Yellow Devil that I'll discuss later for the Wily's Castle stage. Next is Gerudo Valley. In the Direct, we finally were able to see the ice portion. We had seen the fire portion of the Twin Robo attack stage hazard earlier last year. So finally being able to see what the ice would be like. So it seems fire will stay on the left-hand side of the screen, ice will stay on the right. We also found out that the bridge is breakable by interaction by the fighters. We had seen the bridge broken before when we first learned about the fire, but we did not realize if that is how it was broken. And so we see Donkey Kong break it in the Direct. The next stage is the Living Room, which is the Nintendo stage. And this stage, even though we still don't know enough about it, for my taste, we've seen, originally we just saw blocks, like building blocks. Now we've seen a high heel shoe, some other items in there as well. And then we have the dogs, and we've even seen a cat in the background. So I don't know if they're going to interact with the stage. That's to me is what makes most sense of what possibly could happen with with bringing some variety to the stage. Otherwise, once it's set the first time, if it's stagnant, it does seem boring, but it will give you a very unique stage you have to play on because the blocks will be at all different angles. The next stage is Prism Tower. Now, overall, the Direct really brought nothing new, as about 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, Sakurai gave a complete sort of description of how the Prism Tower stage would work. But just seeing it in action is amazing. I personally did not know how much Pokemon X and Y would be represented. I assumed some Pokemon, but I didn't think Greninja would be a character, nor would we have 2 stages, one for 3DS and one for Wii U, based on that game. So it was a huge shock, but the stage looks gorgeous. Pokemon X and Y looks gorgeous by itself, but just how Sakurai was able to make it from a high-up view, being able to see everything of Lumiose City, it looks incredible. Rainbow Road, it seems to be the Mute City stage of this game, so I think Captain Falcon's stage has a run for its money. Rainbow Road, it looks fantastic. You're going to be picked up, moved around the stage, land, and then Shy Guys are going to come through and raise. We've seen, I believe, 4 landing locations so far, and there's many more that we'll need to see. Hopefully, we have seen it land on the moon, which was a big desire of mine. So I'm curious how much of the moon might be like Gateway Galaxy, where it's curved, or if he's going to flatten it out a bit. So we'll have to wait and see on that. The Reset Bomb Forest, we finally got to see that second part of the stage. Originally, all we had seen was the castle, as well as the bomb going off, and then some redness. But finally, we got to see the actual inside of the stage, and it is weird. It does follow sort of that style of that point of the game, where things were a little out of sync, like just a little weird. But I'm excited to play it and trying to get between all of these random platforms. The next stage is the Spirit Train stage from Spirit Tracks. We have seen several back cars, and I believe the count is up to 4 now. We've seen a passenger car, line back, a coal car, as well as a platform car. The one that we haven't seen yet is a cannon car. I don't know if that would exist or what. Seems maybe unlikely. But we also got a couple new pieces of information from some of the picks. We saw that there's an armor train to go along with the dark trains. This one will actually face the Spirit Train, not just the Spirit Train catching up to something. So maybe it will just shake up the front car, or the front train car, or something. We don't really know how it will interact. But in that same pick, we also learned that Alfonso can be the conductor, even if Toon Link is not being played. He's not one of the 4 characters that are being played. So either that confirms 5 players, which I highly doubt, or Alonso sometimes, rarely, can take the place of Conductor Link, even when when Toon Link is not being played. The next stage is Tomodachi Collection. This one was not shown in any regard during the Direct, so there's not really much to say about it, except we have a single picture of it. Next was Totemor's Island, and I really like seeing this because we got a couple more glimpses of how the randomness will play into the stage, with the location of the dock now being on the right side versus the left that we originally saw. We saw Captain's boat coming in, we saw a shark attacking, we saw that fruit could be knocked down and eaten from the trees. So it really, to me, feels like Sakurai really captured Tortimer's Island. And the last stage is Jungle Japes. It was the very first retro course that we have seen for Smash, for Smash 4, and it is also the first DK stage. Not much more is known beyond that, but it does bring back up the point that Melee stages can return. So who knows? It doesn't mean similar to how Melee only had N64 and Brawl only had Melee. It seems that we'll be able to have any stages from any of the games. So it'll be very exciting to see what Sakurai chooses. Now I'm going to talk about Wii U stages. Now, we've seen Wii U stages a lot more than we have 3DS stages, both because Sakurai prefers showing the Wii U version, and For the Sonic trailer, for the Rosalina, and for the Little Mac trailers, all of those featured purely Wii U footage. We never saw any 3DS footage, so we have seen these in a little bit more context than we had the 3DS stages that I had just described. So the first Wii U stage I'm going to talk about is the Garden of Hope. Again, we've known pretty much all of what will make up the Garden of Hope, but one of the cool things that we learned, and at least I had never noticed before, is that there's this branch that's just standing there, and you can actually stand up on top of the branch, sort of channeling your Karate Kid. And it looks incredible. Just the stage overall, it does bring me back to Pikmin 3. I still haven't officially beaten the game yet. I'm more into the challenge mode side of things, but it looks gorgeous, and I'm excited to play on that stage. The next is Mario Galaxy, which probably, and it's my favorite Wii U stage, up there with Pilot Wings, which I'll describe in a minute. Mario Galaxy, again, we really haven't learned anything new, but I am excited to see this in action, and I really am curious about some attacks on it. Maybe you guys caught something I didn't. I know that, like, Samus's missile will, or charge shot will curve around the planet, but something like Fox's shot seems more light-based, shouldn't be affected by gravity, so it should, in my opinion, go in a straight line. So if someone has seen a long Fox shot that seems to curve with the planet, please tell me. But to me, I personally do not want to see that. I want to see it go off into infinity. The next stage is Palutena's Temple, and to me, this is the new Hyrule Temple, or the new Newport City. It is a big stage. It has a lot of different places to fight, and to me, it reminds me a lot more of Hyrule Temple. Newport City, it felt too big, in a sense. It's not that Hyrule Temple wasn't big, but it had places where you would congregate and fight, where, to me, Newport City I never used the left-hand side of the stage. I never moved around. I always just tried to fight in that little bottom area or by the pirate or the swinging ship. And to me, the stage just didn't get as much use as Hyrule Temple did, being back as a Melee Retro stage. But back to Palutena's Temple, it looks incredible. We had seen 3 pictures up to this reveal, and we finally learned that the picture that people were thinking could be a custom stage builder or whatever it was part of Palutena's Temple. The next stage is Pilot Wings. This stage was first shown off with showing the classic Pilot Wings from the Super Nintendo as the base runway that you would seemingly be taking off of, and then it flies around Wuhu Island, sort of bridging the gap between Pilot Wings and Pilot Wings Resort. I'm extremely excited for this game. Wuhu Island is one of my favorite places in Nintendo. Don't ask why, I just love it, and I am so excited to be able to fly around, and also having to do aerial jumps between multiple planes. I also like how there's 2 plane styles. You have one that just has 1 level of wings, and then you have one that has 2 levels of wings, which will create some very interesting fighting mechanics, because you can go on to the second wing level if you're on that plane. The next is Pokemon League. Now, this is a new stage that we had never seen before, and it's only shown in the Greninja Charizard trailer at the very end. And we see 2 sections of it. One is the Dragon room, or the Dragon type fighter. I forget who it was in X and Y, but you're in their area. So I don't know if this is how Sakurai is going to be doing, per se, the new Pokemon Stadium, where it will be called Pokemon League, and you'll go around to these 4 types. I remember Water, Steel, Dragon. I forget the 4th one is off the top of my head. Ghost, I believe, or something. But you'd be able to go and you'd fight, and those statues, those objects would interact with you in some way, sort of like Pokemon Stadium. Next was Pyrosphere. Again, nothing officially new was shown. Sakurai did strongly hint that Ridley would be a boss of that stage. It never was officially confirmed, but I think that Ridley will be a boss of that stage. So I don't know necessarily what that does. Ridley, to me, is a bit less likely now, but that's about characters, and this is about stages. So, to me, nothing really has changed with regards to Pyrosphere. Now on to Skyloft. Again, nothing overall was really revealed except for one new landing location. We've seen many times the characters fighting on top of the tower in the bazaar, or in the market area of Skyloft. But this is the first time we actually see people fighting on the ground in front of it, so that does give us a new location that we're able to fight on. Town and City, it had we finally got a name for the new Smashville stage, and it seems that this stage will have a bit more life in it than it did on the Wii version in Smashville. It seems that it will travel between the town and city. We do have movement in a couple clips, so we're not exactly sure because everything cuts out before we actually officially see things happen, but it seems that you can now go from the town to the city. And yeah, so that's that stage. The next stage is Wii Fit Studio. It's the Wii Fit stage, and we had previously seen the section of the stage based on Wii Fit, which was blue and it had 3 balance boards that would be rising up and down. Well, we've actually seen also a new section, which is more Wii Fit U, where everything was green, and it seems to be a completely flat stage with no balance boards. The next stage is Wily's Castle, and this one we've seen a lot of the stage before, and we had seen Yellow Devil before, but we finally got a great explanation from Sakurai about how these boss stage hazards will work. Now, he does call Yellow Devil a boss, and Yellow Devil will come from Wily's Castle right onto the stage, and then he'll start attacking you through like energy beams, or by going from one side of the stage to the other side of the stage, and as he moves, if you get hit, you'll take damage. So it really seems interesting to see what is going to, or some of the gameplay strategies, because only his eye is vulnerable for attack, so everyone's going to be focusing their attention on attacking the eye. But you're going to also need to worry about your opponents attacking you, so you need to balance everything. But whoever gets that last attack on Yellow Devil is going to be the owner of his explosion. And so it seems if you get caught in that explosion and you're not the person that set it off, you're going to be caught and you're going to get lots of damage, and then when Yellow Devil officially explodes, you're going to be going for a ride yourself. So we don't know many more. We don't know really any other stages, or at least explained stages, that have these bosses. But again, Ridley was hinted at for Pyrosphere, and it seems that Dark Lord for Find Me stage will also be one, but neither were officially 100% confirmed. The next stage is Windy Hills, which is from Sonic Lost World, and we had already seen parts of the stage during the Sonic reveal, but we finally got to see the whole entire stage this time, and I think it really looks good. It's very, to me, it's a lot smaller than I was expecting. It seems that in that original Sonic trailer, Sonic ran the entire length of that stage, and he ran it in like 4 seconds. So it does scare me a bit with the size ability, but there's this huge windmill. Now, I don't know how much I'll be playing on the windmill portion of it rather than the actual stage, but it does, I think it's going to be a very interesting, cool little stage. And as of right now, there's no stage hazards that seem to be on it, but who knows what might happen. And then the last stage is the Halberd from Brawl. It's the retro stage that was shown for Wii U. And it also was the first Kirby stage shown for either of the 2 games. Now, my thoughts with regards to retro are, again, that Brawl, this is a Brawl stage on the Wii U. Brawl is closer to the Wii U in power-wise, and I don't know how easy it might be for the Brawl stages to get put onto the 3DS, version. So I personally think that N64 and Melee will be on the 3DS, Brawl will be on the Wii U, because Sakurai did state that they are going to be separate stages. They're not going to have the same stages in both versions to, again, help with the diversity between the games, as characters are 100% the same between the 2 versions. So the last couple stages that I want to talk about are the 3DS Wii U crossover stages. We have previously seen Battlefield and Boxing Ring before, and there's not really anything new to say to either of these. They're both going to be on both versions, and that's about it. But we did learn about one new crossover stage, and that will be Final Destination. We have yet to officially see a pic of Final Destination on the 3DS version, but there's no way that the stage is not going to be on the 3DS with how Sakurai described the online features of the game. There's just no way Final Destination will not be on the 3DS. Now, one of the cool things that he's done with Final Destination, for those that only want to play on Final Destination, they missed out on a lot of the game. They missed out on the atmospheres created from other stages. So Sakurai has decided to make Final Destination forms of most of the stages. So he showed off Battlefield, Mario Galaxy, Pyrosphere, and even Wily's Castle, all getting a unique version of the stage based on Final Destination principles. Now the cool thing is that this does vary Final Destination a bit, as at least from what I could see of the images, the size of the stage does actually vary. It's not all the same length, so there is some variety in a sense to each version of Final Destination, but overall the basic premise of no platforms, no stage hazards, no nothing, except the one main platform, is the same between all of them. Now, the last thing to discuss about stages is the music for the stages. Sakurai has said there will only be 2 pieces of music for each 3DS stage. No more, no less. So you can take that as you will. I'm okay with it in a sense because there should be at least one song that I'll like out of them. Like Gerudo Valley is going to have Gerudo Valley. I'm going to be fine with only that song. I don't need to even hear the second song. So overall, I think I'm okay with that. 2 pieces, at least it gives you that little bit of variety sometimes when you're playing. But the Wii U is going to get my music back. We did see Skyloft as the sample, and it had 5 songs on it. Now, the good news is I didn't see any songs from Wind Waker, so I still have my hope of a Wind Waker stage returning, so that's good. But overall, my music was pretty much, it seems to be back at exactly the same. You get to control each piece of music that you've seemingly unlocked. I hope that there's more than 5 pieces on the Skyloft stage, unless there's like 4 Zelda stages, then 5's okay, because I have 3 other stages I can play to listen to their music. But I'm not 100% sold that will happen. But at least we have my music back, and I'm very excited.